Waxwork.
It's Waxwork. I picked Waxwork, another wax-based horror movie. Quote-unquote horror movie.
Hey, I was going to say quote-unquote. For, like, the time, maybe. But,
no, well, hold on.
This
Not
movie
even for the... This was
ridiculous.
1988. We already had, like, you know, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, they knew what horror movies were back then.
Some places have higher budgets, man, alright? Just get over it.
Yeah, this movie had no budget.
Yeah,
that's one thing I really want to ask you here, Tanner. Do you think that this one was intended to be like so fucking goofy as it is, like when it initially came out? Was that the director's intent with this, or did they like want it to be?
No,
horror?
I think being goofy was absolutely the point. I think that one zombie thing, whatever the fuck that was, like zombie nerd, blood maniac or what, you know, it had some stupid goofy name. It seemed like it was a guy who did want to make a goofy horror movie, but he also loved like classic movie monsters and he wanted to work those in as well. And I guess he had access to a wax museum, kind of. Maybe he didn't have access to a wax museum, because like from the very first second we see these wax sculptures, you can see them moving, and you're like, "Oh, this is a person in a costume."
Yeah, that was a big thing for us. Like
the moment that they appeared, I was like, "Oh man, those look pretty realistic, don't they, Jackson?"
Yeah. That's what
and
freaked
Dylan was
me out
like, "Yeah,
initially.
that's a problem with them. That's why I don't want to look at them." And then like when they showed like the second one, I'm like, "Hang on a second, they're definitely fucking moving there. What's going on? Are these just people?"
Yeah, that was really poorly done, where it's literally just people who are like, all right, in this scene, you just need to stand incredibly still.
And they can't do it.
Literally,
just do your best.
Literally, I told Nico and Jackson, like, they really only had to make a wax sculpture version of that person, and then just replace them when they fucking go through the magic portal bullshit or whatever.
That's so much
it is.
Yeah, that would have been
effort.
super expensive. Really, the smart thing to do is just buy a fucking mannequin and put it in a costume. Because I feel like a wax sculpture is probably pretty expensive.
Yeah, I think they have like one wax sculpture in this entire movie.
Yeah.
This was no House of Wax budget, boys.
No, sir.
Not gonna lie, you said mannequin, and for some reason that word triggered me, and I have no clue why. I started freaking out for some reason.
Yeah, you looked
spooky,
like you were
dude.
freaking out.
Yeah.
I don't think I did,
Yeah, that's
but
the...
Anyway,
I like the line at the very beginning of the movie where the mom was like, "You're late for college." I'm like, what? College isn't something you can be late for, really. You just show up when you want.
I mean, you can.
You can be late for a class, but you can't be late for college.
I mean, maybe because I treated college the same way as high school.
Actually, speaking of, so he walks into the class late and the teacher assigns him more homework? They don't do that.
That shit was
They don't do that in college.
Yeah. No, they don't.
Yeah, this was 4 years ago, man. They did things differently back then.
Yeah. Very true.
Tanner, if a teacher assigned you like a fucking, what was it, like a 20-page paper or
I think
some
it eventually
bullshit
added up
late.
to like 60 pages.
Yeah,
it was pretty. And then he fucking had his his Hispanic maid or whatever do it.
That was a legitimately funny, like, it was a funny joke when he got with his friends. He's like, "Yeah, I hope my maid knows her Lithuanian history," or whatever the line was. That was a funny joke. And then when they go to the scene, and that is, in fact, actually what he did, that was a great setup and a great payoff in just a really solid joke.
Yeah, she's just fucking breaking down over it.
That was a legitimately well done joke. Like, props to whoever wrote this for managing to come up with that one.
Yeah.
And then he reads it and it's like broken English.
Yeah.
I do not like dictators. They are very bad.
I think it was like maybe 4 pages, like maybe at the most. And I just remember
you could see like nothing.
I was like, dude, why did you even accept this? You know your teacher asked you. I heard 40 pages. You know that 4 pages ain't gonna cut it. Like, what the hell?
They couldn't afford more pieces of paper.
Mm-hmm, they didn't have the budget.
Low
budget.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
they
this movie, this movie was just straight up like silly. I think I caught myself laughing at this movie way more than I should have.
This is by far the funniest movie we've reviewed yet, I'd say.
Yeah, despite it not being a comedy and all that
I mean, it was. It says horror comedy.
Oh, does it say
That's
horror
what it's
comedy?
listed out as on, like, IMDb or some shit.
I sure hope so, because, like, I definitely think this movie was just okay, but there was a lot of things they did that were really weird, and, like I mentioned prior, I don't like real life gore, like that just freaks me out, and it's like, the scenes and, like, thing where, like, they were killing people, like, having people's heads squished, like, that was kind of, like, unsettling for me. But I was at least able to watch it, because, like, the deaths and, like, the way people were dying were just kind of cheesy. And it's, like, you could tell, like, at one point, like, where they just replaced, like, a person's head with, like, felt and fucking, you know, whatever, like it looked like they were...
like paper mache.
Like a pumpkin with... Yeah, so it was just, like...
There's a big difference between, like, real gore and, like, fucking just, like, cartoonish levels of gore.
Yeah.
Like, the fucking werewolf, like, tearing the dude in half.
Yeah,
or, like, that vampire
one.
lady getting pushed into, like, wine balls, and for some reason, it was just puncturing her body like there's spikes or some shit, and they're just blasting
I didn't get that
wine
either. She fucking... Oh, no, she didn't die from that. I was like, there's no fucking way she dies from that, because fucking vampires. And then, like, she just spits out, like, a mouthful of champagne and just smiles, and it was like, oh, okay, I guess she's fine, but what the fuck was that about?
Yeah. I thought it was a neat little touch that when they go into the, like, wax dimension or whatever, they get put into the costume of the victim, you know? That was a nice... that was a tiny little thing they did there.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Well, in the...
I want to know how...
In the fucking vampire one, what was up with that... Did you notice when she goes into the bedroom, she has that long dress, and it's, like, leaving a trail of... I don't even know, like, fucking dust or something behind her?
I feel like I noticed that.
But it was weird. It was, like, leaving a weird trail behind her. I don't know. I thought the gore effects in the vampire one were pretty solid, actually. Like, that guy's eaten leg. That looked shockingly good.
Don't remind me. That scene was rough for me, not gonna lie.
That scene's really uncomfortable. Especially when the fucking guy just, like, lays right on top of the leg.
He did a great job of he did a great job acting for that scene, honestly. Like, all the screaming and whatever.
Yeah.
What do we got? I loved the little guy. The little guy was awesome.
So Tanner,
I'm pretty sure
do you think that was actually a midget, or was that just a child?
I think it was a child.
I also think it's a child.
There's no way it was not a child.
I think it was a midget. I'm a camp
His
midget.
face seemed too youthful to be a midget, you know?
I don't know if that was a real face though. Like maybe some prosthetics on him face.
That was the only wax in the movie.
I don't know.
I think it.
Oh yeah, pull up the IMDb. Who's that actor?
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I think I'm probably leaning towards midget.
Yeah.
It could. I think his lines were 80 yards, so it could be a child, and they just dubbed over his lines.
Quick question: do we remember what the fucking midget's name was?
No.
Damn it!
I think it's pretty obvious if you're looking at pictures.
I mean, that's no, it was not. It was not a child. It was in fact a midget.
What's his name?
Let's fucking go.
The midget's name was Mahali Miku Mesaros.
What?
That checks out to me personally.
1939 to 2016. I
Rest
think
in peace.
By IMDb, this person played Alf?
No. Shut the fuck up. That's not true.
No, hold on. Was best known for donning the furry full-body costume as the titular rascally extraterrestrial and hugely popular 1980 sitcom Alf. She was Alf!
That's awesome. I love that.
You would never know.
This is my new favorite actor. Oh, look at this guy.
I don't think this person... I don't think it's a guy.
It is a dude. Yes,
Are you sure?
That's clearly a man. Also, they played Alf. And also, they were a man in this one. Dude, this guy's got, like, Benjamin Button disease or something. He looks like an old person. Born in Budapest, Hungary. Wow.
Interesting.
Crazy. Alright, so back to the film, guys. Back to the film here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little guy was
funny. I
funny.
thought this movie was pretty crazy. I was a big fan of it, personally.
Yeah, this movie was fucking awesome.
I'm glad we're all on the same page with this, because I was worried that I was going to come in here and be the only one defending this film.
No.
I
like,
think
honestly, I was tempted to give it another watch just to have more things to talk about it. You know,
this movie's fucking hilarious.
I got a negative here. Mark Mainboy is quite possibly the worst actor I've ever seen.
Yeah, quite a bit of the acting was pretty rough in this movie.
Yeah,
Mark,
unfortunately.
There were also like there were like really weird sound effects,
Yeah.
like all throughout it too. Why the fuck did they add that? What's the deal with that?
I will say, I think one of the funnier bits of the movie was like, because obviously, you know, with the small person and, you know, their high-pitched voice, you know, we thought that was just a little funny thing. No, apparently, because there was that one point in the movie where it was like, yeah, I got like this midget that's hot, like loves to be high on helium or whatever the fuck they say. I'm like, oh, I guess it was intentional to just have this character's voice to be high-pitched to fucking everybody.
Well, yeah,
so
obviously it was
interesting.
intentional.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like how it is
weird.
the short guy and then the big guy. In the scene, it was very funny when the big guy just snaps that fucking guy's neck, and then the leader of the fucking Willy Wonka guy, he runs out, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's so fucking mad.
Yeah. I specifically said, like, the moment we saw that dude, I was like, holy shit, it's Willy Wonka.
He really did. He had like it was like the purple and the orange, like it was the whole thing.
Listen, man. In another reality, this man is Willy Wonka.
That's
just how it is.
Did I miss a line where they explained why most of these characters are fictional, but they have artifacts for them?
I think it's because they're interesting persons of dark history.
Yeah,
most of them are made
like
up.
That.
Listen, man, they
We
existed
think
at
they're
some
made
point.
up.
In this universe, they existed at some point, and that's why these artifacts exist, because they are like the spiritual remains of these evil beings that need to be reincarnated through wax
so it
figures.
does
That's
make
what I
as
got.
little sense as I thought it made.
Yeah, more or less, it's whatever you want to make
I
it.
have a note here that...
Yeah, so like
Sorry.
one plot point that was like really strange for this film was that like they went to like that old dude and he was very specific. They're like, hey, if these things awaken, there's nothing we can do about it. The world is just gonna end.
Oh, yeah.
And then they awaken, and then it's just a bunch of old dudes killing these monsters.
Yeah, and then like
I
we
actually
have...
looked into the ending here. They had much more grandiose plans for it, but they just ran out of budget. So this made a fucking brawl at the end. They legitimately just ran out of money to do what they wanted to do with it.
Damn.
I
Sounds
like
about
how
right.
both of our wax horror movies have like non-traditional horror movie endings. Like obviously House of Wax had like a big action movie type set piece, and then this one has a fucking like Avengers style epic confrontation.
Here's
Just fucking old people beating the shit out of monsters and stuff.
I mean,
That
Where I-
scene, by the way,
yeah.
despite like there's supposed to be like a bunch of monsters or whatever fighting here, I could not tell most of the time like who I'm supposed to be rooting for here because they
Yeah.
all just fucking mesh together during
It was
this
pretty
scene.
messy.
yeah.
You know, to be fair, the point that I thought you were gonna bring up, Nico, with the whole old man knowing exactly what was going on the whole time. I know at one point it was either you or Jackson was like, if this old guy knew what was going on the whole time, why didn't he fucking do anything to stop him or some shit? And I was like, I don't know, maybe he's just now finding out about it.
Yeah,
or
he's
something.
just now learning.
And then he did make the comments like, "Oh man, if all of the wax figures are complete, there's nothing we could do. It's the end of the world. There's no, it's the end of everything we know." And then all the fucking wax figures get completed, and they all awaken. And then I'm like, "Oh shit, the world's over." And then the old dude with all the mob of old dudes was like, "All right, we have to contain them here." I'm like, "What the fuck happened to like if they all come to life, the world is fucked?" And then apparently they just ignored that part, and then it was, which probably has to do with the movie running out of budget. So it's probably an unfortunate like plot twist that they had to make there. But it was just like, what the fuck happened to the world ending if all the wax figures came to life?
Thank you, Dylan, for giving
So
us
it
a
was-
synopsis of everything we just talked about.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the part referenced where it was like the world was gonna end, but surprise, it didn't end. I didn't
That was
hear
exactly
part
what
That's
Nico
everything
said.
we just said.
That was like word for word what Nico like started off
My
that
brain
conversation with.
My brain misinterpreted what he said. Oh well.
All right, so who's picking
Hold on
Waxwork
a
2?
sec.
Not me.
I don't remember what
Well, when
this
you-
is referring to, but I say, dude, Passion of the Christ totally ripped off this scene. What am I? Oh, it's the girl getting whipped. Okay. I'm like,
Yeah,
why did I
exactly.
write that?
Oh, yeah, that
Which, by
part
the
was
way,
fucking weird.
they kept talking about how like, oh man, this is looking pretty bad for her. She's probably gonna die soon from all this. And like show her back, and you can like barely see any marks.
It's more of an
there.
emotional
that part was
damage.
kinda-
Yeah.
Emotional damage. She's getting off
That's
to
true.
it.
Well, kink is its own kind of emotional damage.
I do at one point remember, though, Jackson was looking at Waxwork 2, at whatever the fucking name of that movie was. He was like, something about a disembodied hand causing mayhem, and we had no clue what the fuck that meant. And then going back and watching the movie, just, like, imagining that one hand that one zombie hand that somehow miraculously made it through a fucking fire, an explosion, and a building
And
falling
being
on top
encased
of it,
in wax.
when nothing else survived.
For some reason,
Yeah.
it crawls
When
out of the
nothing else
fire not
survived.
covered in wax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also, like, fucking, whenever it's crawling around, you can see the arm behind there as well.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate end to it.
Also, I have a
Okay
good,
movie.
yes, all of history's greatest monsters. Werewolf, some guy with an axe, Dracula, black man in clown makeup, and literal alien.
An alien?
They had 2 aliens, too.
Don't forget the mummy.
Hey, they
man.
had a mummy.
Don't forget
That was the
mummy.
Invisible
Yeah, they had a
Man, you
mummy.
fucking goons.
Damn
No
it.
way. What the fuck's the Invisible Man?
They had some kind of Spaniards or whatever. The fuck those
What? The
people
Marquis de Sade?
were? Yeah, those people. Those are
I
Spaniards,
think they're
right?
French.
Yeah,
Damn.
I'm pretty sure they're French.
Fuck!
You're profiling Nico.
Racist.
Stop it.
Come on.
Sorry, Nico just painted that picture in my mind of what Spaniards are like.
Apparently he didn't
There's
paint
no
a very
way.
good
We're gonna ignore
picture
that
because you're
comment.
misidentifying them. Why do the victims come back too, and they're on the monster side?
Because they're I don't know, they're fucking possessed
They've
by
been
the...
corrupted.
Because there was that one part where the old dude was like, the fucking ghost isn't the wax figure, it's the entire thing. So the ghost is the entire scene. So, like, I guess it just possesses everything inside the scene or something, I don't know.
Okay.
They yada yada over a bunch of bullshit.
Fuck, there was some scene. Oh, it was like, I think it was the old guy. They had to, like, kill the girl or whatever. It's, I think the butler or something is like, she's been dead for a long time, just kill her. And I'm just like, she's been dead, like, less than 24 hours. What are you talking? She,
Well,
like, just died. What are you talking about?
The thing about that, and the reason that I think, because, like, the next movie has to do with, like, something about time travel or some shit. What I'm thinking is the case in that
They're
scenario
not
is, like,
setting
when you
up for the
enter-
sequel. Shut up.
Just, Eddie, shut up. So, going into the wax, like, scene thing, whatever, I think what it does is it, like, transports that person back to that era when that person would have existed. Because if you saw when, like, the cop was, like, digging that one girl's face in the vampire one, her, like, skin was, like, mummified, you know? So, like, my brain started, like, turning there, and I was like, okay, so what if it, like, transported them back a long time ago when these people did exist, and then it, like, puts their body there, and then they become wax figures in the future, and then it's just, like, over time, they just get aged and mummified. So I'm thinking that's probably what it meant by
Maybe.
that. Also, in reference to the butler guy at the end, when he fucking died and he had the fucking, like, sword or whatever, some shit, he was like, you could tell he was holding it in between his arm and his side. So there was that too. But,
I need
you
to
know.
apologize real quick. I forgot there were actual mummies in this movie. There are both mummies and the Invisible Man. So
Oh,
I don't know if you guys
gotcha.
were referring correctly to the mummies, but that's beside.
Listen, man,
The
I was
mummies.
talking about the one where the guy slams. The
Okay,
lid
yeah,
on
those
the
were
cop-
mummies.
the cop
Yeah,
thing.
there was the wax
Yeah.
scene of the guy with bandages wrapped all around him, like putting, I guess, fucking gas down that woman's throat. That's the Invisible Man. I don't know if that happens in the Invisible Man movie, but anyways, so in the final fight, did you guys notice that weapons keep like appearing in our main character's hands?
They're like picking them off the ground or something for the dead
It's a
guys.
battle
I don't know.
royale, man. You gotta make use of, like, once you kill somebody, you pick up their loot. You get their loot.
I swear to
You
God,
just
there
kill
were a
them.
couple of times where it just goes from one camera angle to another, and a weapon is suddenly in their hand.
Yeah, I mean, like, just generally, like, all of the, like, whenever there's, like, a fight happening, like, the choreography for all those parts is just fucking lunacy. Like, during the mummy scene, there would be so many parts throughout it where, like, it's really difficult to describe, where, like, fucking, the mummy has a spear through him, but now the spear, like, is, like, going the opposite way or some shit, and, like, the guy who was just stabbing him from the front is now, like, behind him, and, like...
Yeah, that scene was
it's just all so
confusing.
weird, dude. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that scene definitely wasn't friendly for my brain.
I love the battle wheelchair.
That was hilarious.
That was great. I love that.
Also, when fucking Dracula turns into a bat and the guy just grabs it and fucking like blows the bat.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Did I miss that part?
There's a lot going on in that last scene.
Yeah.
That's
Damn
unfortunate
it,
if you
I
missed
missed
that.
that
Yeah,
part.
Dracula turned into a bat, and then some guy just fucking snatches him out of the air and like blows his head off.
Yeah.
Damn it! I feel like I would have laughed hard as hell at that part. That sucks.
Well,
Oh,
Dylan,
well.
do you think this movie cured you of your disease?
No, not at all. I actually
Yeah.
I had a little bit of an episode when I was leaving the gym today. So,
Damn.
Do you think
Unfortunate.
this was better than the last wax-based horror movie?
yeah, mainly because they were people, not what. Well, hold on. There was that part where they entered the Waxwork from like the back, and there was that one actual wax figure that scared the fuck out of me. But you know, other than that,
It's
was
hard, I mean, it's
alright.
hard to go down from an F minus, so I think we're in the clear here, guys.
oh yeah, I'm not rating this movie anywhere near
pretty
that.
good.
Perfect. Who wants to kick off the ratings then? I assume we're all done talking.
I can
yeah.
kick it off. I need to make
Alright.
some clarifications. So
Of course,
course.
of course.
Okay.
this is a toughie, you know.
Yeah,
It is really fucking hard. Jackson and I were talking about this all week about how difficult this movie
Yeah.
would be to rank. Because this is
Yeah.
our first, like, so bad it's good
And that's what I was
movie.
gonna. Where do we stand on so bad it's good? Like, I guess to me it comes down. So, like, for example, comparing it to Avatar. Avatar, I'd say is a better movie, but I was
Yeah.
more entertained by this one. And if you were to say to me, Tanner, right now, you have to watch either Avatar or Waxwork, or we're gonna shoot you in the head. I'd say Waxwork. So
Damn.
I guess I'll ask it this way. Is the purpose of our tier list to indicate the quality of a film or the entertainment value of a film?
I think it's entirely based off what each individual person wants to base
Yeah.
it off of.
To be
Let's look at the
completely
scale.
fair, I think you guys all base it off of the quality of the movie. At least that's been my interpretation of it this whole time. And then I base it off of, you know, how much I enjoyed it. Like that's always seemed like to be the ratio we go
I think
off
what-
of here.
I mean, for me, like, they can correlate quite a bit generally.
Yeah.
When we get into this realm, though, it gets pretty muddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll go high then. This is an A- for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, as much as I try and, like, view things from, like, you know, a pretty solid objective lens as possible, I just don't think that it would be fair to this movie to do that, which you could also argue, well, you're not being fair to, like, the other, like, much better films by doing so. But I'm just gonna say fuck it and be like, hey, this movie was really fucking great. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I think that I'm going to be looking over the other movies that I fucking rated. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a solid A.
I thought we signified that looking at our previous rankings was considered cheating or some shit.
No.
Why would that be considered cheating at
No.
all?
I don't know.
What we said before was that it wouldn't be a good idea to like look at the previous like overall rankings, since that has like everyone else's opinions mixed in.
Gotcha.
I think that like looking back on like my previous ones, I feel like that personally helps me to like kind of gauge like, you know, where it would be put alongside these other
Yeah.
films.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. Jackson?
I'm continuing on with the trend of A's here. I'm saying it's an A plus.
Damn.
We're just going up sequentially, Dylan. You need to say S minus.
Yeah, unfortunately. that's not, I'm not going to be rating it that high. I do think it was an average movie for sure. I definitely took a lot more of the objective, I guess, like what was right and what was wrong with the movie into account this time around, fortunately or unfortunately. So I actually was just gonna rate this at like a C minus. So it's not that it was a bad movie. It's like Nico was saying, it wasn't a bad movie, but it was like, you know,
It was a
funny.
bad
no, it was a
movie,
bad
Dylan.
I still enjoyed it. I think we came to
Exactly.
I think we came to the objective truth that C is just an average movie. I just thought this movie was slightly below average, and that's just what I'm going off of here. So
Where does that land us, Jackson?
That is also at a B plus.
Whoa!
Hot
damn.
damn.
Let's go.